This is a test of frequency instruments, bass, drums, distortion.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school.
This is 100 cases per 100,000. We got a Hackney and City of London at 120, and you, as I said, at the top of 130. Yeah. Now, are you saying, because lots of clever people live in your part of town, that they have gone to university and they're registered in Richmond, or are you saying it's wrong for us and it's probably wrong for everybody? And just let me add this bit. If it's wrong, it isn't good wrong, because as far as I can work out, the tests done by BBC London suggested that there weren't as many tests available because we were deprioritised, and the numbers are probably higher in London.
Very likely numbers are higher in London, to be honest, because we haven't had the number of tests available that we should have done. In terms of the figures, I've just come off the meeting with all London leaders, and I was able to ask the regional director of Public Health England whether they were seeing a similar number of students away from being tested away from home. Diagnosis made away is the official phrase, and he said yes. Some boroughs are lower than Richmond, of course, but Richmond, 25% of all of the cases since the 20th of September. 25% of those cases are diagnoses made away. We could have avoided this if we had a well-beating test and trace. We're looking to make the regional heats.
Yeah, but I don't even want to do the politic game normally, because it's so serious. I've just had a psychologist tell me about mental health and trying to keep people up. People are worried about, he said 6 months, which takes us to March. We're going to get an announcement today, which seems to suggest that London's not quite there yet, but it's about to get there. People want to break with their children through the half term. They can't do it. These are incredibly worrying times. I'm going to sound like my old school teacher now. We are where we are. We are where we are, Gareth, Mr. Roberts. Yep. What can we do now? How do we make this better now?
What we need to do is make sure that we're following the rules wherever possible. It's the only thing we can do, because we can't see the virus, we can't hear the virus, we can't smell the virus. So what we've got to do is try to make sure that we're following the rules as best as we can. If we take the personal responsibility for ourselves, wash the hands wherever possible, wear the face mask or covering when you're on public transport, shops and supermarkets, maintain the social distance, and of course obey the rule of 6, then the more that we follow those rules, the earlier, if there are going to be further restrictions imposed, the earlier that we'll come out of those restrictions, because what we need to do is keep that number heading downwards, and that will enable people to start seeing their loved ones again as soon as they possibly can after the restrictions are lifted. That will enable us all to go about our daily business. And
I think you're right, but I don't think that's the way that people are seeing it. I've seen some of the questions that came through Friday night. I've seen some of the things that you're batting away. People in your constituency are scared. They're scared because the Prime Minister's about to make an announcement that doesn't involve them yet, but will involve them in 10 or 12 days. We don't know what our state of preparedness is as a nation. In terms of our mental well-being, I think lots of people are worried. In terms of the businesses, the restaurants, the pubs, aviation, I was at a theatre on Saturday night and hosting an award ceremony, and speaker after speaker talking about actors, lighting technicians, all the people involved with it, ushers, who sometimes young students trying to earn a few quid. I mean, there were people on their faces, we say in Hackney. These are tough times, Gareth.
Yeah, they are tough times.
Kick the flow, 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 kick the flow.